All right, here I am, Nate Hagerty, CEO of TaxProMarketer, and I'm with Steve Paget, who is a TaxProMarketer client. Has been with us for how long have you been with us, Steve?
I think 2.5 years, something
That's
like
about
that.
right. Yeah,
Yeah.
about two and a half. So why don't we start there? Please just introduce yourself and your firm and your services that you provide.
So it's Steve Paget from Paget CPA. We're kind of a full service boutique CPA firm. We do some audits, mostly of nonprofits. Then, of course, a lot of work with businesses. So income tax, bookkeeping, payroll, all that kind of stuff. Started, gosh, almost 30 years ago on my
Hmm.
own. And eventually, my dad was a CPA, and I think it's 99. We merged together.
Oh
And that's
wow.
really when I learned the business from him.
Hmm.
Uh, but of course, a lot has changed since then.
Yeah.
So what I learned, a lot of it, we don't even do things the same way anymore.
Right.
Yeah,
Right. So how did you get involved with TaxProMarketer? A few years
that's a
back.
good story. So I think it was I'm thinking it was 2016. I
Hmm.
went to a seminar, the Rosman,
Oh,
in
Rosbrook. Yeah,
San Antonio, Texas,
that's right.
and he had this marketing guru, which was you. So you got up. I remember you showed like all your kids and everything, family. I thought that was pretty cool.
Mhm.
Um, but watch your presentation. You had a deal. And I was like, you know what? Because at the time I'm like, we just like we need to figure something out on the internet with marketing. Our website's not doing anything. So that's where I signed up there. And that's where I first met you.
That's great. So what was going on in your business that caused you to start looking for marketing help or to change marketing providers at the time? What was the burning issue that you were experiencing?
We needed like new clients. We needed
Mm.
leads, and my dad, he started to retire. I think it's 2014. So by then he was pretty much out. Um, but his way was always go like you gotta go to the chamber meeting, you gotta go to this meeting.
Right.
We have a my right hand man Terrell is more the marketing guy in the firm. We're supposed to be, and he was even telling him you need to go out, pound on doors, just that kind of thing. And it just wasn't happening with the website. Um, wasn't really doing a lot. Um,
Mhm.
so I was just scratching my head, like if we had people to talk to, we could probably close them, but we just don't have enough people to talk to, and I'm just not up. Like I've been to chamber meetings and stuff, and it doesn't usually result in anything major. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
No, that is the old way of doing things that the internet has completely demolished in so many
yeah,
ways, and especially in this season in 2020 as we're recording this. Um, uh, just the need for remote options and how everybody is looking online now even more.
right. Even more this year. I mean,
Yeah.
this year when everything started happening, um, I was just so thankful. I had been with you for a while, and we already had the emails going. So a lot of the communications, like I didn't have to worry about. It
Mm.
just approve the emails, they go out. So we're on top of everything. A lot thanks to you, and then just the leads coming in. You
Mm.
know, so really business kind of rolled along even with all
Well,
the changes.
back up for a minute because I want to go back because I think there'll be some people who are watching this who are probably a lot like you, who are scratching their head, knowing that if they could just get in front of the right kind of prospects to speak to, they know they would do an excellent job,
Right.
and they recognize that there are a bunch of poorly prepared, non-service oriented
Yeah.
CPAs and tax professionals out there who happen to, have good marketing. And
Right.
these folks are pulling in business and they know they're going to do a better job, just like you back in the day. Um, but they just don't have the opportunity to have those conversations with prospects. So, how was business going kind of at that time before that I guess fateful, not I don't want to oversell it, but
No, it
where you
was
connected with
painful.
us.
It was painful because I mean I've worked like with other web people. My buddy worked at Microsoft and thought he had it figured out, and the thing I got out of that seeing you the first time was you really knew how all this worked with the internet, with Google, with SEO, which I didn't know about a lot. I heard the terms I didn't want to know about
Right.
in detail. I felt like you had that down, and then so I took the gamble. It's always somewhat of a gamble. Like, is this gonna work? There was
Right.
more money than we are spending, but I'm like, we'll see if it pays off. My dad, just so old school, he would have never spent the money. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
you
Right. No,
know,
I get it.
but my thing is like, hey, I'll spend the money. If it doesn't work, I can always stop. But if it does, I won't miss out on that. But yeah,
Yeah.
so the old way, like I said, I brought in Terrell to help with marketing. I started to figure out that, he wasn't really going to be good, or nobody would, at getting the people to talk to. He could close, he could sell, I can sell. So we're really just sitting there like, man, like the phones aren't ringing. We're not getting a lot of inquiries. Like we're not getting enough new people to talk to. And
Yeah. What
just
was your kind of approximate, again, as I told you before we started recording,
right.
feel free to not share, you don't need to be specific, but just approximately speaking, like what was your approximate annual revenue or number of leads that you would speak to on a monthly basis?
Um,
It's two
like
different questions, I guess.
yeah, it's two different questions. Like we're around like 500,000 a year revenue.
Hmm.
A small firm in pretty small town in north of Seattle. Um, but when my dad retired, we lost a lot of clients that really were tied to him, and he didn't really do a good transition. And he kind of was like, you know what, one taxi's like, I'm done with this. I can't do this anymore, and just I'm out. And so we're having trouble with some of that. See, what was the second part of your question?
It's just kind of the approximate number of leads that you would get from online sources and with your
Terrible,
other previous
terrible,
web
terrible,
solutions.
terrible. I mean, I'll put it this way: like I talked to Terrell too. He's like, you know what, these guys are just awesome. Like
Hmm.
TaxProMarketers. Like every week we've got, even now is typically, say the old days in December, we might have one lead the whole month, right?
Hmm.
Not much going on. We've got at least say like 3 to 5 every
Hmm.
week coming from your marketing
Hmm.
right now in a slow time.
Yeah.
Uh, and so it it's just that feeling of, so before, a feeling of worry, like we need to get new clients, but we're not getting them. We don't have anybody to talk to. What are we going to do? To now it's just sit back. Like, I mean, literally, like yesterday we had another one come in through the website. I was just laughing. Like, I'm talking to Nate tomorrow. We get another one in, and
Yeah.
so that's a feeling of more security. Like we don't need to worry about having people to talk to sell. Um, you
I think
guys,
I saw that one come in. That was the one who had some back taxes.
right? Yeah, I was laughing. I was like, yeah,
Katrina. That's right.
yeah,
I remember that.
yeah. So I think that's the beauty. It's like literally not. If I was to ask him or myself every week, is it worth it what we're paying? I don't even have to think about it. It's like
Yeah.
I probably have another call. Terrell does the phone, so he's getting all the calls. So he's got people on his end. I'm doing all the emails. So literally every week there's new people.
So what did we, and I know the answer to this, but just so the people who are watching this might see it, because exactly what did our team implement and put in place for you that was different than what you'd had before?
Um, let's see. So when I first started, like I'll go back. Like one is just, I think the communications is great, and
Hmm.
that you guys really do care about what's happening with us. So I didn't know at the time, but I had another website through another company, and you guys had me set up a new domain. So I was, the traditional PagetCPA.com,
Hmm.
and you had me set up Skagit County Tax Services.com. So I thought a little bit because I was too lazy to cancel the other one, but I kept 2 websites. I think for the
Which is a no-no.
I didn't know that. So I think it was like 8 months into it or something. Um, I can't remember who over there, but somebody contacted me and said, "You can't do this. Like like you're messing up your Google. Google doesn't like this." And I mean, we're doing okay. Like nothing like now. Like I was happy
Mhm,
then.
mhm.
But I was like, well, okay, I'll cancel the other one. Like I didn't realize I was messing things up. And after I did that, I mean, things just really took off.
Hmm.
Um,
So we did the website, and you already mentioned the email marketing, and obviously the website.
yeah, the
Uh,
email marketing is huge. The weekly emails,
mhm,
um, because I think part of the struggle when you're trying to get a lot of work done is to stay in communication with your clients or to have them feel that personal connection with you.
yeah.
Uh, and so I would say before, like that probably was lacking. Um, and I was more behind the scenes, like and I kind of took a cue from you that even though you have a team, you're a tax pro marketer. I always was. I met you, I knew you. I get emails from you,
Hmm.
but I needed to be the same way with my clients, and that those emails help so much, and
Hmm.
I get so many comments on those, and especially this year. So appreciate your weekly emails. People send them out to their friends, and it's just really a huge thing.
Well, it's amazing what happens when you give your clients, your existing clients, but even especially your prospects, kind of that personal touch in
Right?
your email marketing, and don't just send generic kind of brand building
Yeah.
tax tips newsletters. It's unless people have experienced what that does with your relationships with your clients, until that happens, you don't really see the power of it. But
Right.
then, I mean, I know whenever I get to speak to our clients, they're just like you did. They're asking me about my children. They're asking me about
Right.
different things that I've written about in the emails, and even sometimes when I've shared my struggles, and I
Right.
get people reaching out, and that's a kind of power relationship with clients and prospects. And again, it's sincere, so it's not
Yeah. It's
just
totally
this.
sincere. Yeah.
But and this is what we do for our people too, is kind of give you that opportunity to have that kind of relationship with your clients. So I'm
Yeah. I
grateful
like
that.
that. I like that focus because our other website and they had monthly newsletters, but it's all more the generic. We're Paget, the firm, and we do all the same stuff everybody else does, and like no real personalization. And I noticed that from our first website that there's a message from me on the website, not
Hmm.
like the firm,
Hmm.
and that was a change. And me thinking, what, I think he's on to something that even though it is a firm, it's a small firm, it's me. Like people
Hmm.
need to connect with me.
Yeah. And that's great. And you've got a team, you've got people who are doing the work with you and on your behalf. You personally aren't having to do everything, but your
Right.
clients feel cared for by you.
Right.
And because you do care. And that's what's wonderful about working with you, Steve, is that, as I told you before we recorded, you have a lot of fans here at TaxPro Marketer
I
because
appreciate
of
that.
the way that you treat our people. And I'm sure that that trickles into your relationships with your clients. But now you have an opportunity to communicate that in a regular, broad manner.
Right.
So
It
that's
makes
wonderful.
it possible because I couldn't write those emails every week. It would have been like long ago, like something on the list that never got around to.
Yeah.
That makes it so easy to keep up with that.
Yeah.
And everything, it sounds like stuff I would say. I think so it fits. It's not like my clients like who's writing this for you. This doesn't sound like you. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
it
That's great.
exactly fits.
Yeah, and so we didn't even mention like your Google My Business profile, and all of the social media components to what we do, and all the secondary listings and advertising. Um, but you went from uh, maybe one lead per month to sounds like 20 or more,
Yeah,
even during
it's
slow
even
time.
yeah. And when the tax season, it's even crazier. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So how has that impacted your business and you personally?
huge. I mean, as I said, when my dad retired, it's a bit of a struggle and maybe even a little bit of burnout. And yeah, I'm 51 years old, so I'm like, I'm not done, but
Hmm.
I've been in it a while. And I was frustrated. I was burnt out. Um, and the last thing I want to worry about is sales, marketing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think the first thing is it is like excitement about the business, excitement about what we're doing, and knowing that you guys had our back, and I didn't have to worry about that part. You know,
Mm.
because again, my friend at Microsoft, thought he knew about SEO, thought he knew about this, that, and my dad was always like, we can do things ourselves. I designed some of our first websites myself, um, but just getting like, I need people that are experts, and that's a big thing about you is you did this for a lot of firms,
Mhm.
so I would benefit from that. So a total shift in mindset and just overall positivity about the business, what we're doing in the future.
Mm. That's that encourages me so much, Steve. I mean, you're not alone, but I never get tired of hearing these kind of stories. So
Yeah. And
I really.
especially this year, I mean, I was so worried this year
Mhm.
about what was going to happen. And as the months went by, I was like, man, like, thank God we have Hagerty. We call you Hagerty at firm. But I was like, thank God, like, we're still getting new business. We had to start do Zoom meetings, stuff like that, but
Mhm.
we were still rocking and rolling. And because I mean, this year is really about trying to survive and not
Right.
just knowing what was going to happen.
Mhm.
So I don't think we could have done it without you guys, and it
Well,
would have
it's
been,
not just me. I mean, I think you know this. You've
yeah,
interacted a
all
lot with
your
my
team.
team.
Yeah,
I'm only able to do what I do because of the 14
right.
people here at TaxProMarketer. But you, similar to you. I mean, you and your team, like, they might feel like, oh, they're connected so much to Steve, but
Right.
that that's not possible without your other folks. So,
Right.
last question, Steve, and I really again appreciate you taking the time to
Yeah.
speak with me. But what would you say to somebody who's considering connecting more deeply with Tax Pro Marketer?
Um, do it. Like, I think, if, I mean, I don't think there should be any question, but if there is, like, try it. Like, you'll never turn back,
Hmm.
but at least give you guys a chance. That's what I did in the beginning. It's like, I'll pay for 3 months, 6 months. If I don't see anything, then I can reconsider. But so I think, like, absolutely give it a shot because it will work. You guys know what you're doing. It's essential to our business.
Hmm.
So
Well, thank you so much, Steve. It's great to get your story, and man,
yeah,
I'm
thank
so
you.
glad that you are serving your clients just the way that you are. I'm so thankful that we get to work with people like you, who really do care and know that they can do an excellent job on behalf of their clients, especially this year. People like you serving small business because there's so much carnage out there,
Right.
and someone like you has the opportunity to be a port in the storm for the small business owner, and even the small business owner who's somehow really thriving through all of this. It's so important for them to have people like you in their corner. So, so thankful that we get to serve you, Steve. And
Well,
thank you again for your time.
thank you so much, Nate. I really appreciate everything you guys do.
Oh, great. All right.